greetings from the Humans of Crypto family. Thank you for the overwhelming love and support you have shown for the new season of Humans of Crypto. We promise to bring you more such stories of passion, innovation, and ingenuity from the incredibly diverse world of crypto. With the recent developments where the US has also kind of announced their plans for CBDC, and Facebook and Meta is announcing their NFT plans, it seems like an interesting time that globally that we are moving into the crypto space in a much different scale. However, there are several conversations in Indian crypto climate as well, where there has been some amount of relief with the crypto tax announcement. However, industry is still debating on the 1% TDS that is kind of going to be causing a lot of pain points for the investors. While that debate starts, today's guest, we are joined for the third season of Humans of Crypto Season 2, is with Mr. Ishan Sharma. Hi Ishan, how are you doing?
Hi, Medha. Thanks a lot for inviting me here. It's always a pleasure just sharing my journey of getting into crypto. And yeah, really happy to be on.
Great pleasure that we have you on the show to understand like what your objectives were to when you started off with your own journey with crypto. I believe you are still a student, and you're a student of engineering from BITS Pilani. So could you please
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about yourself? Like what are you doing currently?
sure. So I am in my third year of college doing electrical engineering from BITS Pilani Goa campus. And with crypto, I remember in my first year of college, this is back in 2019, we had this event in which we were able to apply to be a part of clubs and societies, right? So at one of the clubs of entrepreneurial cell, we had to do like a discussion, and the discussion was about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And back then I'd only known कि ठीक है कुछ bitcoin में कोई चीज थी, and it was doing really well, got like 7-8 lakh rupees का हो गया था, which made no sense to me. So we had the whole discussion about blockchain decentralization, how it's going to be good and all. And then I got curious about this whole thing, like, okay, what does it really mean?
And
What
what
is
was
a
your age at that
cryptocurrency?
time? How old
I
were
was
you?
18. I was 18 back then.
Okay.
So that is what got the spark inside of me to learn more about crypto. And then I was just like sort of little bit doing some research here and there, learning about how to actually make like a crypto token or something. And then in 2021 January is when I first started actually exploring into crypto and actually investing in crypto, right? So I looked up what are the best exchanges out there in India to actually invest crypto. I got a bunch of the names, tried all of them out. All of them were having problems because recently, back in January 2021, Bitcoin had that huge upswing, right? So all of the people were FOMOing into it. So the exchanges were just not able to handle all of that. It took me, I think, about 20 to 30 days for the KYC to get verified. But once that happened, I was finally able to start investing in crypto.
Segment 1, the journey. What makes you care about decentralization?
So, I was watching that movie called as Big Short, in which I got to see how banks get greedy, how people in power misuse their power sometimes. And at the end, even when the whole bonanza happened in 2009, 2008, stock market went down, people lost their pensions. At the end, there is no single banker who went to jail for the problems that were caused. And that just got me more interested into how can we make a particular environment in which the power is not in the hands of the few but in the hands of everyone out there, right? So that is what I basically mean when I say decentralized. And the best example of that is decentralized exchanges, right? So everything is code, right? There's a common saying, in code we trust. So that's basically what my definition is of decentralized nature.
So that means that you have quite a lot of passion then. Like coding is one of the passion, and what else like do you enjoy doing the most?
I like sharing whatever it is that I'm learning. I have realized that crypto ki industry mein there's a lot of jargon out there, and
Correct.
that is just because of the fact that this field is still very much scientific, exploratory field. Everyone is just trying to understand how these things work. So it's very much in its early phases right now. That's why people who are actually building it are like researchers themselves, trying to find out how to create like a DeFi protocol or something. So that is why I wanted to like make things simple for my audience that might not have the time to go through, like 10-hour long lectures just to understand how something really works. So that's basically what my whole idea was. I started recording, I made my first video about crypto, just titled How to Buy Bitcoin, just sharing my own hesitations and my own beliefs about Bitcoin and how can you actually buy it in India. And that one did pretty well, has like 350K views on YouTube so far. And people
Wow.
continually watch that. Of course, the comment section is filled with scammers in there, but still, I think that was a really nice step. And after that, I just started recording videos, just talking about crypto in general on my channel. I think it's important to introduce people to this new segment. So that's why I got into this field.
Currently, what are the challenges that do you see you are faced with in the crypto ecosystem?
I think easy access is important. Like people still don't know how does a MetaMask wallet really work? How do you connect a MetaMask wallet? How do you transfer crypto to a MetaMask wallet? And then what do you do after that? Like how do you connect it with a dApp? How does all of that happen? So I think that is still something that people are afraid about. लोगों को डर लगता है कि like I might just lose all of my crypto. Many people are still keeping all of their crypto in exchanges itself, which is not the right thing to do. You should keep it yourself, not your keys, not your crypto. Common saying out there. So I think that is something I think people are not able to understand properly, and that's why I have seen so many different creators that are getting into this space, talking about how dexes really work, how can you store your crypto in your own wallet, how can you secure it, how can you use actual physical hard drives to store your crypto. So that is a really nice change that's happening in the society. But yeah, I think this whole idea. So basically, if you look at what's happening in the US, people buy crypto and then they actually do something with it. Maybe that is building an actual some DeFi protocol and then using it, staking it, yield farming, whatever it is out there. So they are actually utilizing whatever crypto they have. Most people in India, they just buy it and then they just keep it in the exchange, then they just wait for it to actually go up. That might happen, that might not happen, but then during the time it's actually kept in the exchange, we can make use of it. So I think that is something that's really important for people to learn.
That's really, really nicely put, Ishan. So now we are moving on to the segment 2, which is the tech talk part. Data is key for AI and machine learning. With the advent of Web 3.0, blockchain, and the decentralization of web and data, how do you think this landscape is going to like shape up or like transform in itself?
Yeah, so I think everyone is trying to move towards efficient blockchains. So we've already seen how Ethereum gas prices are off the charts, and that's why people are trying to move towards Solana. And Solana is just really good for developing any single application, and then people using it. The gas fees over there is super low. Transaction charges are low, so people can actually start using it. I think that's where it's headed. I also see a lot of a lot of centralized nature in place. As we've seen when Solana was started, the pre-sale of the token happened, and a lot of that went to the billionaire investors, right, who invested into this. So that's sort of like a bad point about it. But I think we cannot have all of the good points, right? Like you want it to be cheap, you also want it to be decentralized, you want all of it. That might not actually happen. So I think it's very early to like judge what's going to happen. It's like I am currently in 1990 trying to predict what's going to happen on the internet. Trying to predict what will happen. Will TikTok actually be there? I don't know, right? So these things are very much interesting. I am looking into it. There's this startup called as Alchemy that recently raised a crazy amount at a valuation of $10.2 billion, and they are actually building a Web3.js API. So really exciting space. The Andreessen Horowitz actually will be investing billions of dollars in this ecosystem as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's happening. I listen to a lot of podcasts just to see what's happening in the space, what startups getting funded, what are they actually building, and what's happening with the regulation side of it as well. So yeah.
So, which brings me back to the question, which is kind of heated up as well as like important for us to understand. Like, you heard the recent, announcement from our finance minister as well, where we talked about the, crypto tax. So, what are your sentiments around it?
So I have talked with a lot of people about the same thing, and everyone is just saying that it is a step in the right direction. But as we've seen, right, they're trying to create their own CBDC as well, the digital rupee. So we'll see how does that actually happen in reality, because it's easy to say, but to actually build it, it might take a lot of time. And if they give it to some company like Infosys, we've all seen what Infosys did with the tax, with the income tax return website. So it would be interesting to see how they build it out from scratch. uh, what I feel about the crypto tax is that, I was talking with this founder of a crypto startup. They were building like a Web3 startup to help developers create multi chain applications, decentralized applications. And I just told him that, hey, I was just listening to Nirmala Sitharaman talk about the tax. It's 30% in India now. What will we do? He was like, that is totally fine, man. I have like 40% tax in my own country, so it's totally fine. And I think it works. It might look a lot right now because in India we don't have such high tax rates, and so people are worried about that. But I don't really think that's going to be much of a big deal. But yeah, 1%, I don't know how that 1% TDS is actually going to work out, because for anyone, like, I am more of a hodl kind of a person. I'll just buy it. In fact, I've never sold whatever Bitcoin or crypto other altcoins I've actually bought so far. So I don't really believe much in like trading and doing all of that. I just don't have the time for that. I just buy, I just do weekly SIPs into crypto. Right, so that's basically what my plan is. For people who do trading often, then for them, I don't know how the 1% TDS is going to work out. So let's see.
That's brilliantly put, and thanks, Ishan, for actually summarizing the overall nuances of how every investor and their risk appetite, their decision making in investment can differ and personalize. And basis that, of course, the crypto tax will differ for different people, and their takeaways will be different. Coming back to the fun part of the segment, while we discussed all the serious stuff that's going on in the crypto ecosystem in India, segment three, the quick fix. Who is your favorite tech entrepreneur and why?
Sachin Bansal, for what he built, Flipkart. I was listening to this book, The Big Billion Story, and I just absolutely loved his 0 to 1 story of building Flipkart and growing it, struggling in the middle, and then just building it out, selling it to Walmart. Just an amazing story.
All right. So, you are an avid reader. So, is there
Yes.
any particular book that probably you would recommend, like your peers around, who are, of course, of your age, but probably not in the crypto ecosystem?
I think first of all, read this book called as Bitcoin: The Future of Money. I don't remember the name of the author, but that book is really nice. I listened it on Audible, and it was really nice introduction to understand the history of crypto and Bitcoin, how it started. Secondly, take a look at this book called as Life 3.0. That goes into a lot more depth, talking about like how all of these fields combine, like AI and virtual reality and what's going to happen in the future. So that's number two. Number three, I think because this field is so new, there's not like a lot of books. You can also, if you want to read for fun, you can read this book called as The Bitcoin Billionaires, in which they talk about who all were the people who were the early adopters of Bitcoin. So that is also one thing. I think there is this really interesting podcast series on the podcast named Business Wars, called as Crypto Wars, in which they talk about all the recent developments in crypto. How was Coinbase started, the Bitfinex scam. They talked about the Mount Gox scam. They talked about the Winklevoss twins and how did they build up Gemini. So all of these things are really interesting, and you should totally take a look at this. I think the best thing that you can do to upskill, to like learn more and more about the space, is to listen at podcasts. For example, this podcast called as Bankless, and that one is really nice. So just a couple of these recommendations.
Wow, I mean, that's like an entire playbook for people to get started on crypto. And thank you so much for Ishan for sharing that. We're going to end it with one last question, which is like, what is that one piece of advice that changed your life?
I think so. There was this math teacher that I was having back in 11th and 12th, and he prepared me for JEE advanced exams. So I met him again recently. I think 2 months ago, I met him after 2 3 years. We had a nice time, 1 hour we talked, and at the end, he just basically told me that ईशान लोग खुद के लिए तो बहुत कुछ करते हैं, right? They build assets, they invest and do stuff, but like think also about how can you contribute to the society, and how can you like be more philanthropic, or how can you just like help uplift people as much as possible, right? So think about that as well while you are like building yourself up, building whatever businesses that you're doing. So I think that has always stuck with me. I was recently interviewing a billionaire investor on my channel itself. So he basically has been investing in Silicon Valley companies for the past, I think, 20 to 30 years. He's been there from the 1995 era of Silicon Valley, and he basically just told me that, Ishan, money is one thing, it's amazing, crypto is amazing, but then also think about how can you contribute, how can you give back, how can you uplift people that might not have access to all of these opportunities. They might not have the awareness for all of these things. And that is something that I've just been thinking about for the past 2 to 3 months. How can I make that happen? That's why I recently started Invest Kar Befikar channel to just help as many people as possible with investing. So yeah, that's basically like a passion project that I have.
Amazing. And I think you've really, really come a long way. And my intent was whether you land on this particular project of yours by the end of it. And it's just fascinating that you made a point, and this is the part where we bring it to our expert ease segment, which is segment 4, where we talk about your venture, Invest Kar Befikar. So, what
Sure.
is it that are you trying to achieve through this mission and your
So
passion
Invest
project?
Kar Befikar is just like a YouTube channel right now. We just wanted to create one place for people to go and learn everything about finance, sort of like a course that we can create for completely free for people to explore. The basic idea is just to help people, be it through content. I'm currently just trying to understand what are their problems exactly through the comment section, through just like talking to people, looking at what they have to say, seeing what videos actually work, and then creating like a platform in the near future that can help them maybe understand about their financial goals better, or maybe just create like a one-stop shop to do everything in finance, right? I was recently discussing with a friend of mine, why can't we have like one platform where we can buy crypto, we can buy stocks, mutual funds, bonds? Why can't we do all of it on just one application? We're trying to explore how it works, and we got to understand that SEBI is very much tight on the regulations, that you cannot actually be a broker as well as have like crypto exchanges at the same time. So that's like a bit of a regulation that we are trying to deal with. But yeah, it's a really interesting space. I am just really trying to learn as much as possible about how fintech platforms really work. So yeah.
There's so many content creators right out there, and they are probably doing their own research to talk about crypto, their experience in them, and there's also scams that are going on. And so,
Yeah.
so as an audience, how do you want to inform the people, like be aware and ensure that you do your due diligence before you get into the space of crypto, and share share advice with another person.
Mhm. I think this is the most important thing, having trust of the audience. It's a very fragile bond that you have with the people that actually watch you consistently, and they think of you like a big brother that they can learn as much as possible from. So you have to be very much careful on what exactly you're trying to convey to them, right? Like what products, what brands are you trying to talk about in the videos that they consume of yours. I have gotten, every single day I get at least 10 emails of random crypto tokens wanting me to promote their scams or whatever it is. Most of them are rug pulls, or most of them just don't have the authenticity, right? So I always do not go for those. I also get a lot of projects in which NFT projects want me to promote their NFTs. I don't want to promote a particular project itself. I want to rather promote the idea of what are NFTs and how do they really work. That's why I recently made a video on the same topic. It was a 30-minute long conversation on NFTs, how to buy, create, and flip NFTs. I think that is what is more important, rather than just getting paid to talk about NFT project. Because let's say I talk about it, people actually buy it, maybe some people make profit from it, and then they just run away. Let's say that the people that made the project run away from it. It's very easy that it's happening every single day. What will
Yeah,
I do?
the
Right?
accountability
Maybe,
and your credibility is on the line
yeah,
also.
maybe I'll just delete that video in which I talked about that thing, something like that, right? But then that
Yeah.
trust is broken, and that is the
Yes.
worst thing that can actually happen to a content creator.
Amazing, amazing. Ishan, thank you so much for addressing all our queries and all our concerns. And this has been a really interactive session. And on behalf of HSC, we are really looking forward to following your work, whatever passion projects that you do. We keep and close watch on it and continue to support in all your missions and vision. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Medha, for inviting me here. It was amazing talking to you, amazing sharing my insights. I am still just a novice, just trying to learn about this space. There's so much to explore in Web3, and just trying to help people out understand the concepts better.
Thank you.